We're gonna do that one more time, guys. All right. Wow. We already got 15 people here. And with respect to the time of our really incredible guests, especially Mr. Farid Lounas, who's joining us from Europe right now, I want to get people in the room and just start getting this thing going. We're talking about the Tornado World Series, and we got some patriarchy here in the best use of the word to kind of describe their history and legacy with this event. And we want to meet Farid. We want to get Jim Stevens in here right away. Jim Stevens.
Mark Torres, Pandemonium. Yeah, I love Pandemonium, especially on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it's great to be here. And it is exciting news. As you said, Farid Lounas, a man who probably united the foosball world more than any other individual over the last 20 plus years. And to have him here, to have a World Series event finally in the United States, much of it due, of course, to the great Hall of Famer Steve Murray. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be Pandemonium, but it's also going to be super informative. And it's going to be really, really educational, I think, for everyone out there watching, all 15 of you.
It's Pandemonium because it is shoot from the hip, man. We're just going to go where it goes. It's going to lead us where it leads us. After an hour, it'll feel like you want more, but we got an hour. I'm going to bring Mr. Steve Murray in here. What's up, old dad?
What's up, guys? I'm always happy to join some Pandemonium.
It's always been the case, too.
Pandemonium is my middle name, sir.
Dude, just so right. The show should be named after you. Don't anyone ever forget there's a picture of Steve Murray jumping off a foosball table in the open singles playing for third or better against Tracy McMillan. And if that picture didn't exist, he'd probably deny it happened. Would you deny it happened, Steve Murray?
No, I honestly, that's one of my favorite shots to this day, though. I have no idea what the heck I was doing.
Because you're a psychopath, but if you look closely, I'm in the upper left corner with my hand over my mouth like this because I couldn't believe someone was standing on a foosball table.
Did I stick the dismount landing though?
You stuck it, dude.
Okay, cool. All right.
You had a little tuft of red hair, and it just kind of that was when you had a little tail, little duck tail back in the day.
Yeah, we all had the mullets going back in the day.
We're gonna bring Farid in here. Like I said, respectfully toward time, we're going to bring Farid in. I want to play a short clip of Farid, and it's from 2000. Jim, you might have to correct me. It's between 2006 and 2008. It's 16 years ago. It's about a 90-second clip, and I found this on YouTube, and I think it's incredibly relevant. And we'll talk about it. We're going to play the clip and then bring Farid in. Give me a second here.
See Farid over here. Let's go see what he's got to say about the new tornado table.
Okay, Ed, there's 14 surveys. There's one that's filled out, but it's not a name. I don't know how you can draw them up.
So what do you think about the new table? What do you think about the new table?
Oh, we are very near to have something good.
Yeah, you like it?
I like it. I think they make a lot of work to make it a real much better table.
It does take a lot of work.
I think many people are happy with the new system. They really answered to some questions players have. The system for the,
I can take that
the players too, the tic-tac. What's interesting to see that players, when they use their voice.
It makes a difference when it's heard.
Yeah, but no, when they use it first. when they have a real voice.
Yeah, the majority of the voice.
Yeah, they have to speak, not complain.
Right.
Argue. When people argue, and there's always people and institution and organization to listen to them, but they have to speak. They have to organize themselves.
Communicate.
And this is something I think there is to do again in US. There is a good start, but being professional on your side is important too. Don't ask only the other people to be professional.
It's true.
Both sides. And you have some ways to practice.
Yeah, fill that out. If you have any written comments, put them in there and reflect for the record.
Let's welcome Mr. Farid Lounas. Thank you, Farid, for joining us. I'll just open up by saying I thought that clip was highly relevant because that was 16 years ago. You talk about having a voice. You're talking about you need to speak up. You need to say something. And one of the things that we've talked about even minutes before the show, you talk about doing something. You're not a big talker. You're not really big. I mean, even before the show, you don't really want to talk, but you will because you know you need to. But as far as getting people together to speak their voice in acting, is that what you meant by those words 16 years ago?
Hi, Mark. Thank you for the invitation. Hi, Jim. Long time no see. Long time I don't have a chance to see you in Europe. I will be happy to see you soon in US. My pleasure. Mm-hmm. Hi, Steve. We are working together since a few weeks now, so I'm happy to see you again here. I cannot really comment what I said 16 years ago. I think it was English was not that bad. Not better than my English now, so that's okay.
Your English has gotten worse, by the way. I don't know how that happens, but your English is worse.
But yeah, I say something I think everybody think about. Everybody, it can be in sport, in your company, in your daily life. Internet make it more important maybe now because everybody has a voice. I can use it. But yes, I think it was not really stupid what I said, so it's not that bad. That 16 years ago, it still stands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, Jim, please.
Yeah. Hey, Farid, it is good to see you, and I do look forward to seeing you again soon, and maybe someday again in Europe. Who knows? But I think what I got from that is that by having a voice, that means you are in a system that allows every player, every promoter, everyone involved with the sport in that particular country to have the structure to be able to send those comments upward, to be heard, to be able to help change, to have a voice in the direction of the sport that we all love so much. And I'm not sure that's always been the case here in the United States. It is a system here that has been manufacturer run. The federation has always been secondary at best. And I think and it's wonderful that a World Series event is finally coming to this country, but it's more than that. It is also training the Americans to kind of, or at least showing them how things work in a very strong way in other countries. And so for me, the voice is important. It is super important for everyone to be able to, like you say, not complain, not gripe, but to be productive with their voices and be participants in the vision of that country, and even greater than that, the international foosball scene. So that's how I saw that, Mark.
If I could jump in, I would. That very clip you played, Mark, is one of the reasons why I'm really honored to be involved in the opportunity of bringing the World Series for the first time to the States. I was lucky enough to play. I should have done it far before I did, but I was lucky.
I told you, Steve. I told you.
You know you did, and I should have listened, and I put some other stuff. I prioritized other things. To this day, I wish I hadn't done that, but I did. But I saw what Farid has already accomplished, and I'm telling you, it is next level. Anything we've done here, it's next level. So I was honored to experience that, and I was also honored to be asked for the opportunity to bring the first one to the States. So I thought it was spot on, and that's exactly why I'm sitting here today.
Love that.
I think one thing we need to do as we're introduce the World Series concept, and Farid, you are the architect. Of course, you have I don't know, dozens, hundreds of people helping you. So I don't want to diminish all the people that support you. But one thing that people want to know is, what is the World Series? What does it mean? What is it? Why don't you talk a little bit about what the World Series is and what your idea is with this tournament as a foundation for the future of ITSF in the United States?
First, if we don't had Steve and Trey Stites from Tornado to be part of the project and say, yes, we want to change things, we want to be part of this idea to have a World Series, we will not have it. Will not have it this year. That's for sure. There is nothing, like you say, there is nothing I do alone. Nothing. Every small decision, every steps we made is always a group decision, a group working. It's a teamwork, It's only a teamwork. And here, doing something in the US is important for us. Why it is important? Because USA is it's not a country. It's a continent. It's a big place. 50 states inside the states, and it's a leader country. The impact of USA on many parts of the world is important, but we cannot do something just to do it. We need to have a vision. We need to go step by steps, and there is a lot of work to do to try to make some change, to try to make something different, and it will take years. But we need a starting point, and the starting point was to have some people who want to do it, who want to be part of it. And Steve and Trey were the first ones. Decided to let's go, let's do it. And this World Series is really just a first step and necessary steps, because we need to have a place where we can meet. It's more than a tournament for me. I will be there. I will be doing this for 4 days, just a few days after the World Series Pandemonium. It was really difficult. I'm really sorry for all the players who have to go there in so short notice and just right after the World Series Pandemonium. It was really a nightmare for all of us to make this kind of decision at the last time, but it was an opportunity, and we cannot lose time for this. We cannot lose. The main idea again is not the World Series. The main idea is to give a chance to football players and to football scene to go up. And let's say the first question we had was about we have a new tournament next year that calls the ITSF Golf Finals. We'll make some announcements in a few days about this event. That's really important for us. It's a way to have the top 12 men and top 12 women players to compete for the same amount of money, for the same visibility, and we hope this to be a window for the media and for the sports in the next years. And we want to give a chance to the US style, tornado style players to be part of it, because you need to win a World Series and to be number one in the world to be qualified to this event. So it was an opportunity, and we don't want the US players to be left behind, or the tornado style players, to be left behind on this. As for the World Cup, we have the World Cup next year in Zaragoza in Spain. I'm very happy with the organization and the people involved over there. It's big fight to be able to make it, because it's a big event. It's really hard to find the money, to find the partners, but it's also a big motivation for all the people involved in the country. And I'm very happy with the job done by the federation and partner over there. I'm thinking about Juan and Mamen mainly, but this is really nice. But we want to give a chance to the US football players also to be part of it. So this World Series will give a lot of spots, some travel package, some without travel package. I think everything is on the file, but there is a lot of spots to be able to go there, because I don't want to speak for all the players, but we are always very happy when we see the big team of American players going to the World Cup. It's 100 players going there. Always a lot of fun. It's at the end of the ceremonies, the opening ceremonies. There is some guys and some guys I missed last year or the last World Cup, like Robert Mares and Tom Yours and many others, cheering with the public, and that's very nice. So yes, we want really to have this US football scene, because we are speaking about US football scenes. Everybody remembers the 70s, but there is something much better to do. It was very fantastic what happened in the 70s, and Lee Peppard and the team and everything was done with tournament soccer was really great. But now there is still a chance to go forward and to make it better. But we need to be all involved. And when I say all, yes, we think about the players playing the World Series, okay, but we are in USA, and from what I understand from USA, it's not like my English. I don't know so much about USA, but I understand that they like to be involved. They like to be involved when it makes sense for them. So they are not afraid about small business. They are not afraid about working hard. And here I'm thinking that what I think really is that if we all work together, there is a lot of promoters. You are very rich of promoters, of people who want to care about football in their daily life, operators, promoters. So if we can all be together and create the team, then something can happen. But it will be, I just can promise it will be a lot of time and effort. That's all I can promise, nothing else.
Yeah, that's so true. And those are wise words that I think the American public does need to absorb. Steve, I also want to applaud you for getting involved and being a part of this and helping to make it happen. You too, Mark, and of course the Tornado company. Farid, you mentioned that it's being held the week after the Bonzini World Championships. Do you anticipate that this tournament will have a pretty good international attendance? Now, they may need lots of coffee after that event and then adjusting to the time change. But we can provide that. Steve Murray is a great host. But do you anticipate that, despite the fact that it is so close to Bonzini World Series, that there will be a good international attendance at this event?
I cannot say. I cannot. Again, I don't like to promise anything I cannot stand. So I hope. I know that many people want to go. Again, with the short notice, it's not easy for people to travel. I'm sure we'll have between 50 to 100 international players or something, maybe a little more. We will see. I'm sure if we had more time to make the promotion and to prepare this event, we'll have much more than 100. Because a lot of people like to play on Tornado table.
Yep.
A lot. This year we have a chance to have the BFA UK Federation to be involved in a Tornado tournament since many years now, with Will and Steve. But I can see now that Austria is going also to organize some Tornado event. Germany is thinking about it. So we'll have a real Tornado scene in Europe very soon. A lot of people, including myself, like to play on this table, and the style of game is really incredible. So I'm sure we'll have more. And I think that I don't make any mystery to say that we will work, and we are working now to organize the next event next year, or next new World Series next year for sure. And I hope much more events in coordination with promoters. We don't do anything again by ourselves.
Just a quick follow-up too, guys. When I first got involved with ITSF, now 18 years ago, 2006, I think was my first year. Most of the international players, most of the European players did not like the Tornado table. It was difficult for them. It was mostly a pin series sort of approach to it, and it's difficult, unless your name is Frederic Collignon, to shoot a pin shot on the Tornado table. But that has changed, hasn't it, Farid? Now in Germany, in Austria, throughout Europe, even in France, players do really enjoy the Tornado table. They finally came around, and a lot of that I think is the younger players and the training centers that are available to them in Europe. But the Tornado table now is a much more attractive table, which I think is going to encourage international players to attend this event. Did you notice that change as well? Because early on, no Tornado. Now they like the Tornado table. Even you like the Tornado table. You just said
it. Yes. But you need to have fun when you play on the table. If you don't have fun, whatever the table is, many people ask me every month, every week, when there is some interviews in any television, what is the best table? It's always a big question. What is the best table? The best table is a table where you have fun on. You have fun playing on. When you start playing on, when I go to Costa Rica and I see people playing on the footballing table, and they are fun, they are so happy. I'm happy for them, and this is their best table. So yes, if you play Tornado, and like you said, if you start playing Tornado young, or you play Tornado in some competition, and you can become addict because you make some progress, you become better and better.
That's right.
If you don't, then you don't like it. It's not your fault, of course. It's the fault of the table. But you need to progress. You need to go forward. So yes, I was not good on Tornado. If I speak about myself, then I learn. And after learning, like all players, you have some skills. And when you start to be a little good, you want to compete to others. And when you compete to others with the same set of rules. It was a big discussion during many years to have the same rules in the world. Then you learn from others, and that's very interesting. You start to play with American players, and this is something not my fault, but football players are nice people, so they teach each other. That's something we have the chance to have in our sports. So you have an American players teaching you, and what happens? They see you playing on Bonzini, they ask you some advice, and you give it back. So that creates something, kind of conversation, very nice, and people are nicer together. So you finish by liking also the style of game. So it's a positive circle. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's something positive, and the World Cup helped a lot for this.
Yep.
Steve Murray.
No, I was just going to say, if we could just back up for a second, we were talking about people that were getting involved and seeing the opportunity we have here, and the importance of trying to get this whole thing to the next level. It's great that Farid has taken steps to get involved with the Tornado Company, and now we've got a young man in there who's a third generation businessman who sees that he wants to take his company to the next level. He's a third generation businessman. He also understands that his brand is the most popular foosball table in the world, right? So it was beneficial for everybody that Farid took steps to meet with these folks and try to solidify some kind of relationship there, because there's no doubt what you just said, Farid. Tornado is becoming the most popular table in the world. Okay, I don't think we can dispute that. I mean, maybe a little questionable, but in my eyes, I think it's become the most popular table. So that said, I think it's great that you've taken the steps to solidify those relationships. And back to Farid's involvement. I think, we've done a lot of really positive, good things. I mean, Mary's done some good stuff. We got a lot of great state tournaments going. There's really good stuff going on right now. So many good state tournaments, but we need to get it to the next level. We need somebody in there that's done something that has attracted some sponsorship, and being able to make the production to where the players, they understand it and they appreciate it, and it will attract some sponsors. So I just wanted to get back to that before we kind of pass that up, just for player popularity and all that stuff. But I think in a lot of ways we're on the right track. I wouldn't have involved myself or sacrificed our Texas State weekend if I didn't truly believe we're on the right track. I think we got the right people. And if we bring everybody together, like Farid said, to his point, if we bring the IFP, if we bring our federation, if we bring everybody together, I think we can get to that level here in the States. And that's what I want to see before I kick the bucket.
Well, that just ended on the most morbid note, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're on a roll, and it's like, and I'm gonna die. But listen, brother. So I want to focus on a couple things. You answered my question that I was going to ask you. That the Texas State Championship has been a landmark event for as far back as I can remember, and I was going to ask you. You took a lot of crap for it, right? You're like, hey, but I don't think people understood. So I want to ask you the question. I'm going to reframe it for you. There are a lot of people that aren't on social media. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that are going to see this because we're going to send this link. We have an email list of 30,000 people. We're going to send this out to people that are on Facebook. And we want you to tell people why they should go to this tournament, why they don't have any point of reference. All they know is American style events. You take the Texas State Championship and you've evolved it. You did not delete the Texas State Championships. You've evolved it. You've integrated it. So whether I'm a 60-year-old foozer or I'm a 14-year-old foozer, tell me why I should be going to the Tornado World Series inaugural event.
Well, it's a great question. First, let me just say that Texas State's not going away, okay? But to your point, we saw an opportunity. We were offered this opportunity. We had this opportunity to bring this program, and we were honored enough that they wanted to do it in Texas, and they wanted to do it on our weekend. So make no mistakes, Texas State's not going away. Right now, Jason's working on, he's researching some good dates, and that's not easy these days because there's a lot of really good tournaments. But the fact of the matter is, if we can bring the ITSF World Series event to the States and in Texas, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, first of all, 2 years ago or last year, maybe the last 2 years, we've modified our formats. David Raddick is the master of that, and hopefully he's going to be involved. In fact, I'm going to insist he's involved in this event. But we've tried to adjust our format a little bit to the international format because whether you like it or not, that's the future of this game, and that's where we need to go. So when we had this opportunity, it would have been just silly to pass this up. No, Texas State is, listen, that's my baby. It's been my baby. It's Jason's baby. It's David's baby now, right? So that's not going anywhere. And we were willing to sacrifice our weekend to give all the players in this country the opportunity to experience what they've been doing with World Series and World Cup events over the past years. So it was a no-brainer for me, and I think once the players come, and there's going to be plenty of foosball to be played, it's going to be at a wonderful venue. I think everybody knows we're going to give them a beautiful glass setup. Playing conditions are going to be good. You know, it's going to be a fantastic player experience. And you know what? Hey, if we fall flat on our face, which I doubt we'll do, just for the record, then we can't say that we didn't try to do it.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
And there's no way that Farid makes the effort to get involved with the Tornado Company and then ask me to be involved. There's no way we're going to not take advantage of that opportunity. I know the players will love it. You just got to come to check it out. This is next level stuff. And yes, we're going to have a great Texas State championship. Hopefully it's this year, and we think it will be. And Jason, like I said, he's him and the crew, the rest of the crew that still does Texas State. They're gonna research that a little bit. We're going to make that happen. But in no way, shape, or form does any of our United States tournaments equal what we can do with the ITSF World Series and World Cup events. So there you have it.
Let me jump in right there. So I'm going to play a video in the background, and this question is going to go to Farid. The American players don't have a point of reference for what the World Cup is and what it can look like. I was at this event. It was the most mind-blowing experience I've ever had. It's that you see these people in this crowd, you see the production, and something you said resonated, Steve. One thing that Americans have a hard time comprehending is how to bring money, outside business, outside sponsorship into the sport. And Farid, frankly, that's your kind of calling card. People know that you know how to drive revenues, whether it's advertising, sponsorship, you do it all. And that's how you're able to help support and fund massive events like this. Farid, while this is playing in the background, can you touch a little bit on what do you do that makes your tournament so successful? Where's the money come from? What are you pitching? Talk a little bit about your effectiveness of driving revenue for tournaments.
Before I talk about this, if I talk about this, the question is, what is the difference between football and another sport? First, we try to make it an official sport. Here I am. I'm sorry you cannot see me that much. I'm in my hotel room in Birmingham, UK, because we have an IOC meeting during the next 4 days. And here you have all the international president of sports federation. All are there.
IOC as an International Olympic Committee? IOC? Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah, we are part of these meetings. We are working with all the different international federations and IOC members. But at the end, what is the difference with the big sport? We don't have any chance to compete with the big sports as soccer, football, baseball you have in USA, basketball. So what is the difference? How we can bring people to and companies and institutions to support football event? And I will give you just some ideas that can help you, people who want to be involved and who have time to run this kind of things. It's football is very popular. Football is played by everybody. It's inclusive. It's a real inclusive game. Yes, it's a sport. There is no doubt about this. Now there is so many Ministry of Sports and Olympic Committee will make a decision to make it a real sport. So yes, it's a sport. Until we make it a real sport too. So that's also a question we have in US. You know about this. You heard about the sport dress. You heard about the time of the match. Single elimination is not only because single elimination. You cannot play start at 8 o'clock in the morning, finish at 2 o'clock in the evening or the next morning, and expect people not to use drug and not to use extra to help them to resist. It's normal. So there is no sports you do something like this. So we have to be careful. But you know about sports. So let's go back to your question. What make it a difference? The difference is you were at the last World Cup, so you see what happened with the kids over there. So you were happy to see more than 5,000 kids here. But what does it mean? It means we spend a lot of time to organize a project we call 100 for schools, 100 table soccer for schools. And we bring now more than 300 tables in schools after this project. That's something people care about. What is the difference between supporting football tournaments and soccer events? We don't have the audience of soccer. There is no way we'll have it. Same for your sport. But we are in an inclusive game. It means when your partner is coming, he can play. When an institution, a politician is coming, he can play. When the kids are coming, they can play. Watch and play. They can participate. You can make donations to a school. You can create a safe environment, a friendly, family environment, like any other sports. There is a possibility to participate. It's really a lot of activation you can do, a lot of fun people can have watching the match, because nobody knows football, nobody knows competition of football, but when they watch it, it's always an incredible good feedback we have. So that's the first steps. And then you have to speak with them about how they can be involved. But what is their interest? Why I will support football? We have some people who are playing football, who are part of the game, and they want to support. I think about the Philower company with a good partner of the ITSF now. They're really happy to be involved in the 100 for School table program, just giving some tables to Nepal, and much more coming to Africa. And this weekend, I am in Birmingham for IOC meetings. With BFA, with the British Federation, we will give away 3 tables to schools in Birmingham. So that's something very interesting and important for the institutions. They are very happy to be part of this kind of project. So I don't know exactly how you can do, because each country is different, but try to make a difference. We will not use the same way to promote the event in France than in that's what we will do in Spain. It's completely different. So each country is different. What is important for the politician, what is important in the country, in the city, for the people, is different. The problem are not the same. The motivation are not the same. So the first thing I will say is care about what people need in front of you. Don't ask money. What do they need? How this tool of football can help them? If you don't think about this and just say, "Oh, we are sports, we are great champion, give us your money." Think about one thing. Will you give your money, your own money, if you are the owner of this company? Will you give your money for sports you don't know, if there is no impact for your own players, for the cities, for your friends, for your customers, for your partners? You need to have an impact. So there is a lot of way for football to have an impact on all these aspects: B2B, B2C, social activities, disabilities, any activation. There is a lot, but it's still a lot of work to care about and to find the good impact you can have with the company. And I think, Mark, you care about business in general, and with football much more. You have only one shot, so you have to be very good in the first meeting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had the honor of working, I think 15 World Series, World Championship Series events around the world, 7 World Cups. And it really is like Steve said. And Steve, finally, we got him to go. And after that initial one in Hamburg in 2017, he said, that's the greatest foosball experience of my life. And And that's saying something based on what this man has done throughout his long and illustrious career. But it is more the one thing that those tournaments all had in common, right? Especially the World Series events in the different countries. Strong federations, okay, whether it was in Austria, whether it was in France, whether it was Germany, Poland, wherever it was, the federation was active, the federation was strong. And I know, what these tournaments, there's so much more than just running a tournament, just having a tournament. There is what you have done for the sport over the years to bring juniors into focus and senior players into focus, and now senior players playing well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Disabled events at all of these. Then working locally, like you said, with the BFA and supplying tables, working with schools. There is so much more to all of this than just one individual tournament. I know you're hoping, and I'm hoping, and Steve is hoping, and Mark as well, that this can be this tournament, this World Series event coming up here at the end of next month already. How about that? Is a springboard. It's a foundation towards building in this country. Do you anticipate working more closely with the USTSO and the Federation here in the United States moving forward in order to help bring the United States kind of in line with what's going on with many of these other strong federations?
I had some meeting with the USTSO, the board of the USTSO. We are on our way to help them to change their statutes, their sports codes, to have an ambition, to have a real vision of what can be done in the country. What I can say is that I really invite all people who want to be part of this organization to name themselves to Donald and the team, of course, because they need help. A federation, it's very clear. It's to federate the people from different states, from different clubs, from different part of the country, the promoters, the operators. Everybody should be involved here. Again, there is not a unique model of the way to organize a federation. No, there is more than 200 countries in the world. Each have tradition, culture. We have to respect this. There is not one country we can teach the other one what to do. But saying that, again, it's a team effort. So people have to work together. Other people who want to be involved are welcome to be there. ITSF will help. We have an academy program where we teach people how to go forward. And teaching mean also that we work together, not only to tell you what to do, but we will learn with you what should be done and could be done in the country. I understand in USA you have also the football club program. I had a very good time to work with John on this program too. I'm very sad, like everybody, that we lose him a few months ago. But I know Mike is now involved in this program, so we are really ready to help here to make it something national. There is something always you speak in USA. There is what is regional, states, and national. You have to think national. It's important. If you don't have a big ambition, nothing will happen. That's for sure. Nobody care about a small project. No, not company. No. Nobody. It doesn't make sense. Even the people on the internet, if it's not big enough, they will not care about this. So we will help as much as we can, and it means a lot to help people to work together, to have something that people can understand. That will be important. So we will come with some ideas. We have something in mind, but we have to test it. We have to speak with people to continue. I spoke already with some promoters, so many people here. And we will adjust. And I think before or during the World Series, we will be able to make some announcement on something we can work together. Again, step by step. Don't wait for a revolution. Even if I like this to be very, very fast, but it will be very, very fast when it's possible and it makes sense, like we done for the World Series. There was no hesitation, even if it was really late to do it. But it makes sense, so we will do it. It will be the same for 3-4 projects we have also in mind. And we will care about this. But if at least this World Series can be a place when people can see that it's possible to make something nice, to make something safe for family, for women, for kids, and feel good, feel something that can be seen from outside. And maybe I will finish by this here is you cannot expect institutions, media, and investors to be part of your event and to be your partners and to like what you do if there is no time for them, if you don't think about them. So having a 2 hours show every day to care about and to celebrate the champion with some final, but to have these 2 hours, not asking people to come to your event doing 14 hours and say, come when you want, you need to have something that make them proud to be your partner. So having this 2 hour show, and this is something we'll work with you inside Foods also, to make this this kind of 2 hours VIP moment like a window for our sports. You cannot expect. I'm sure I went to a baseball game. It's very long. It's not quick. But I went but I see it's even if it's long, it's 4 hours, 3-4 hours. You cannot imagine to ask people to stay 12, 15, 16 hours to see the final and stay here as the partners to pay some money. When you pay some money as a partner, you want to come with your customers or your business partner too, to explain them why you do this. So respect partners, respect spectators, respect everybody, and it may works. Is one advice we will also give to people there.
I hear what you're saying. I understand it very well. It makes perfect sense. If you have partners or people you're trying to build a business relationship with, you don't want to say, hey, come whenever you want. I'll find you. I might be in a match. You want to say, hey, this is the window. And in that window, everyone's ready to take care and be hosts and maybe have a spectacle and have an experience. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Have a window, right?
If you think table soccer can be great, can be a great show, we need to make it a show.
Right.
So we cannot have a show of 15 hours a day. No sports do this. No sports.
Tell me about it, right? There were days where I would literally commentate for 12 to 15 hours. I would be on the microphone for that amount of time. And viewers would come and viewers would go. Hopefully we were entertaining enough to keep them with us. But I've always loved the idea of, yes, you provide coverage, streaming, whatever, but to concentrate it down into a 2 or 3 hour show, where you have live play, where you have interviews, where you have features and other things. I love that kind of idea. And I know that's something we're going to attempt to do down in Texas this year. But you can't do that unless you have a format that is agreeable to that, right? Where when matches are going to be played, when this match is going to start right now on this table, then I'm going to have 15 minutes to do an interview with Tony Spredeman or whoever or whatever. And so I think it's important for the American players to experience this. We've talked about it. We've shown it to them. But I think for them to come to an event and actually live it and appreciate it, have time to go have a meal, enjoy some time later in the evening, know exactly when that final match or big match is going to be played. I think that for me, that was the biggest thing I saw early on when I worked these international events, is how clean it was, how organized it was. And I know it could be chaotic behind the scenes. I know it wasn't always smooth and easy, but the perception was that it was easy. It was organized. It was a true professional sport. So again, I appreciate Steve and Mark and Farid and you guys bringing this and giving me another chance to experience that. But I think you guys would agree it's also important for the American players to actually experience it.
Steve, you look like you want to chime in there, man. What do you got, my friend?
We were talking about formats and everything you just said, but just to backtrack just a little bit. Strong federations and new players, super important in the States, okay? Listen, as good as our state tournaments are going right now, Texas State, we innovated a lot of stuff, and we were just talking about formats, and we tried to come up with ideas. I say we, the main man, David Raddick, did, but we came up with the format to group the events that you could play, so we could eliminate some of the crazy conflicts that go on, because that destroys the player experience, right? And to be able to, just the thought of being able to plan out your matches and knowing, hey, I can go down the street and go to the store, or I can go shopping, or whatever the case may be, knowing that you're not going to be late or get a recall or something like that couldn't be more important. And I think that's really a key takeaway point with this is players, they've seen it to a very, very, very small degree. We grouped that, and that was our intent, to try to avoid players having to sit around for 12, 15 hours and never know when we could call the finals and all that stuff. That's why this format and why this program, this World Series program, is so appealing and so important to me, as to be able to do those kinds of things and get away from the guy sitting around for 15 hours and just finally just giving up and saying, screw this, I'm going to forfeit, I want to go. We tried that with the double elimination formats, and we did okay. David did as good a job as anybody could to eliminate the majority of that stuff, right? And luckily, a lot of the other state tournaments, they took on some of what we did, not entirely, but they modeled their tournaments after ours, which is great, and that's very flattering. But I mean, you got Texas, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Florida, all these great tournaments, but you always hear the same story at the end of the tournament. Man, I didn't get to play my finals until 3 a.m, and I was shocked. So that's I know that I'm probably, this is regurgitating information that everybody already knows, but the importance of getting to some type planned out format and program like this, I think the foosball players will be tickled to death, and I think it is the absolute right step in the right direction.
So Farid,
there's death again. Did you hear that from Steve? Come on, Steve. Slow down now.
Well, listen.
Right.
Now's the time, man. Now's the time. You got good things happening. You got really, I mean, it's time to do something. We've got this opportunity with the World Series. Yep. You got new blood like Michael Stahl coming in, doing the great things he's doing. I mean, we got some good things happening here. And we get Farid in here, we get the ITSF, get the World Series in here, and we're going to show them that we can get this thing to the next level.
Let's bring it into focus. Yep, let's get everything.
We're going to bring it into focus, and we're going to attract some sponsorship, hopefully, knock on wood. But now's the time, fellas, and that's why I loaned the World Series, our Texas State weekend, because I feel it's that important.
Love it. Farid, I would be irresponsible if I didn't follow up, because you just let it hanging out there. I'm in the UK, Birmingham, for a meeting with the International Olympic Committee. Is that something you do every week? Can you talk about what this, I mean, is it once a year? What's happening with that meeting, man? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's what we call the Sport Accord. It's a meeting there is about 1,500 people. All people who care about sport in the world are here during these 4 days. We have a lot of General Assembly, Executive Committee meetings, experience exchange, etc., and a lot of politics over there. We are fighting a lot on different topics like the anti-doping, the sport recognition in some countries. So we have some meeting also with. I will have a lot of meetings with Olympic committees of different countries. But there is 200 countries, so it took months just to have some meetings and to make some steps with one country. So it's a lot of work, but that's always great to have new people to hear about football. So we will have a chance to have 3 tables in the forum too, because we have a partnership with IOC regarding this 3 tables giving to the school after the project, because they love the idea of social tools that is football for the kids. A very attractive game for pedagogic goals for the teachers. That's the most difficult to get some tools that attract enough the kids so they can follow the pedagogic goals of the school. So this is an important program, but I say that's it. We have we have some meeting 2 or 3 times a year with the IOC, but also with the European Union, with some Olympic committees. Yeah, it's part of the daily job. Like when you run a federation, it's really hard to run a federation. So I want to really congratulate all the people who are running federation and clubs around the world, because you need to have exactly the same kind of meeting I have with IOC at your national level, with the Ministry of Sport, Olympic Committee, anti-doping, disabilities, inclusivities, kids, seniors program, competition, national team, etc., etc., etc. It's a lot of work. So they need us to teach them, to help them. But just a little congratulations for all these people involved and all the partners who help them, of course.
Do you bring a suitcase full of money with you, Farid? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I
Sorry.
think, from what I know, it doesn't work anymore.
You're terrible. You're terrible, Mark.
Mark, I have a more important question. Was that Farid that just busted that push
Yeah.
side front pin?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
this
Based
is,
on the
God.
table, I'm telling you.
I had no idea.
Jim, tell your Ryan Moore story.
You know, I think it was 2012, and Ben Mason and I were in the Paris area working the Bonzini World Championship Series, and Ryan Moore, great player, right? A multi-table champion. He has won world championships on Roberto Sport, and he's really good on every table. And he was really good on Bonzini. We watched him win 1, 2, 3 matches, and he was feeling good. He was shooting it well. He was passing it well, shooting good from the 2-rod as well. And then Farid, who didn't want to, I don't think even play that match on table number 1. Who knows? But he played Ryan Moore on table 1, and we're commentating this match. And Farid, we don't get a chance to see him play very often, especially on his home table where he is a legend. And as you can see there also, it's the knobs, right, Farid? It's the little knobs. Although I noticed you had the bigger handle on the Fibro, but you had the knobs. So he plays Ryan Moore, right? And we're thinking this is going to be a good match. It's going to be a really good match. Farid lived with the ball. I think it was 5-1, 5-0, 5-1. Just taught Ryan Moore a lesson about who's the man on Bonzini. And the thing is, and I always say this, Ryan, really good 3-rod. When he gets it on the 3-rod, he could score it. Pretty good chip series or whatever on the 5. Not bad on the 2-rod. But it's the loose balls, the in-between stuff. And Farid catches everything. If that ball's rolling around, Farid's going to grab it. He's going to dance with it. He's going to move it. It was really something to watch. And after that day, Farid, I really, really appreciated you as a foosball player, as a baby foot player. It was amazing to watch. And I don't think Ryan appreciated it as much.
Before then, you had no respect. You had no respect. Yep. You beat Ryan Moore. Everybody respects you.
Yeah.
So listen, guys.
It was fun to see him play. It was really a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he will destroy me one hand on the tornado. Huh? So
maybe.
Probably. Okay.
That's true.
Listen, you guys, we got about 5 minutes or so left. The purpose of this was to introduce people to the World Series event, meet Farid, listen to Mr. Murray here talk about the Texas State Championships and the evolution of where Texas State Championships will go in the World Series, to hear you guys talk about this being a foundation event, because Americans can be cynical and they can think in their minds, oh, it's going to be one tournament and then we're not going to have another tournament. But I've seen the people are taking pictures of this QR code. They are looking at the registration. So it's been a great first kind of delivery and presentation. I think we're going to need to do at least 1, if not 2 more of these and build on where are we. Steve, we need to talk more about the tournament venue as it builds up. I know there's a great stage you're building on. We want to get to that. Farid, we probably want to do at least 1 more of these in the build up. But I want to give you guys another opportunity to talk about, is there any, you want to close with anything you want to say? Steve, let's start with you, Steve.
So real quick, everybody that has been to Texas State in the last few years is familiar with the Westin. We've done a couple there. Jim sure knows it well. We've had some of our best broadcasts there. It's a class place. It is. They've renovated the place since we've last been there, so it's even nicer than it was when we were there last time. We have plenty of room. The setup's going to be great. Farid has provided some really, really cool stage setups that we're working on right now. The venue it's very affordable in terms of this type business hotel. It's going to be affordable for the players, which is important. I mean, we don't have the disposable cash that we had a while back, so that's important. So that's not going to be a problem, and it's easy to get to the hotel. Accommodations from getting to the airport, from the airport to the hotel is easy, and vice versa. When you're ready to go home, you've got a shuttle that'll take you over to the airport. So that's great. I've always said, and I've always believed that, I've been lucky because I've had really smart people like David Raddick, Jason, all the guys to do all the stuff that really runs the tournament. Donald and all those guys get in there. But I've been the logistics guy, and I can tell you that this is going to be probably as good as we've ever done. I think it'll be, and everyone knows how I know. I take that very seriously. When the players walk in, I want them to go, wow, this is a cool setup. I want them to be happy in there. I want them to be comfortable in there. So the venue is going to be great. It's a good weekend. We're putting the right pieces in place. And I would encourage everybody to show up. Don't think just because it's not the Texas State that you shouldn't be there, because you should. And also don't think that Texas State's going to go away. That's not going to happen. Jason and the gang, they're going to plan a really good Texas State tournament. And Jason's program gets better by the day with the Foosball Sports Network. There's just good things happening. But, man, we got one chance to bring ITSF World Series in here, and there's no way I'm going to pass that up for the players.
Love it.
The players deserve this.
Farid, I'm going to go back to a question I asked Steve earlier. A lot of people are meeting you for the first time. They're hearing you speak for the first time. They don't know what the ITSF is. They don't know what the World Series is. I want you to give a pitch on why Americans have been playing American foosball tournaments for 30 or 40 years. Whether I'm a 60-year-old or a 13-year-old, why should I come to the Tornado World Series?
Like for many events, for all events, you come here to meet friends, to meet people who love the game you love also. So it will be a good place for this. It will be a very safe place. You have time. You will play a lot of match. We want people to be happy. This is always the first idea of the ITSF when we organize events. We want people to meet each other. A lot of people coming from different countries. We are speaking about USA. USA is a world champion country in many different categories. Not necessary for the seniors and juniors in some aspect, because Germany is here everywhere, but very near. USA is very near. So it's a big country where people know how to play football. So we will have the big match between the best European players and the best American players over there. So I'll be happy to watch this, to meet these people. So I'm sure people will be happy to do this too. We'll have the national team competition, and it's always very fun to see this kind of match. And I think there is some discussion about who will be in the national team for men, for women. So yes, it's not only a different experience because people play football everywhere. It will be a place to meet people. So they can meet, they can have a good time in many tournaments. Here it will be a little different because, and it will be besides the event, we want to talk with people, and USTSO, myself, Tornado, all partners. And I will be happy also to meet some people and some friends over there. Steve spoke about David. David was like, a long time I don't see David, and I like him very much. So I will be happy to have him there. And it will be a chance for me to meet some old friends, and for all of those over there, and for European too. And again, it will be a place where we can learn together. We are not coming here with a format saying it will be this and this. We try our best. We had a lot of discussion. You see the event on Monday with amateurs and pro. This is something we don't have in Europe. This is adapted for the US tradition and format, and people to understand that with the Swiss system, it helps you to know what is your real level on this kind of table, because it's difficult when you have European players coming, play Bonzini, for example, as myself. You are maybe pro on your table, but not that good on the other table. But some people can be very good too. So just have fun, have some good time together, and that would be okay. That's the idea of this event in the first place. And we want people who visit to like football and to have an idea maybe to play one day. Then don't forget that the idea here is to bring new players in the next years, starting by this event, but this event will do nothing for this.
Okay. Hey, Jim. Well, first of all, you heard it here first. Farid said he's going to have foosball in the Olympics next 2 years.
Did he say that? I don't think I heard him say that.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Not sure he said that.
I think I wrote that down. No, I didn't.
Jim, Jim, tell us a little bit, man. Let's talk.
Okay, I don't have any more battery.
Yeah. There goes Farid. What Steve said about the hotel. The Texas State Championships the last 10 years has kind of jumped around to different hotels. All of them fantastic. But Steve, this is my favorite hotel. This is the hotel, and I've had a chance to work all of them. This is the one that I appreciate the most and really, really enjoy. And the other thing too, and I know Farid touched on it a little bit, but it's a tradition at Texas State, and I'm sure it'll be the same here, to make it a family-friendly environment. In fact, I'm going to be bringing my family. My kids have been playing. My kids are going to come and play the junior events.
Yes.
And they're looking forward to it. We're playing every day. We're practicing every day. They're going to be in over their heads, but that's okay. By the end of the weekend, they will have learned a lot and had a great amount of fun. But it's always, Steve, that's something. This is the only tournament I would bring my kids to, frankly, in this country. It's the only one.
Well, that's a
and
compliment right there.
what's that? Yeah. And so they're coming, they're looking forward to it. And it is always such a great environment there. And I guess one final thought as well, it's someone who has worked more than 350 tournaments, both in this country and internationally. I've worked something like 40, 45 international tournaments. It is such a pleasure to know that I'm going to stay in the country. I'm going to go to one of my favorite places with my favorite promoter at one of my favorite hotels, but it's going to be an international style event. And always, as I said earlier, the World Cup, World Series events, there's nothing like them. They are a cut above. And to have all of that in one package, including my kids being there and my family being there, Amy's going to be playing as well. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. So thanks again for putting this together, guys. Just for me.
Man, oh man. If I could real quick, Mark.
Please do, man. Please do.
Tournaments are not the same without the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that's been with Texas State for 30 some years. It's so good that you're going to be involved in this, man.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, bud.
And I know you're talking to me, Steve, but Jim's going to be there too. Listen, you guys.
I was thanking you for saying that about Mark. I told you he'd grow on you. I told you he'd grow on you, Steve, eventually. Maybe he hasn't quite, but he's getting there, right?
Like a fungus.
All I have to say, I didn't have to go, Jim. Please, I'm cutting you off.
No, I just wanted to, and Farid pop back in, and again, Farid, keep up the wonderful work. I'm a big fan of yours and of what you're doing and your team, because I know it's a team effort. There's just, but your ability to put that team together is something that I've appreciated now for almost 20 years working international events. So thank you for doing it, and looking forward to maybe having an IPA with you in Dallas.
Count on that.
I'll just say this, you guys. Change for the sake of change can be just gratuitous. It could be token. It could be nonsense. It could be pointless. And that's not what this is. I've been a huge advocate and fan for this for years, as you guys know. And the reason why is because the United States can be really served by an injection of a different filter of foosball. And nothing was more revealing for me than going to Nantes, France, and seeing the foosball table soccer World Cup was absolutely mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. Yeah. I told the story. I went to the World Cup, and I had my friends from middle school, high school. These kids I grew up with these, Sergio Aragonis and James Castillo and Phil Schlafer, one of the first people I met 35 years ago playing foosball. And these guys were emotional and awestruck by what foosball can be. And foosball can be that thing in the United States. And I'm not taking anything away from what we have now. We have great stuff now. What I'm saying is that Mr. Farid Lounas and the ITSF coming to the United States is only a good thing. And it only serves us all as a community to support this thing as an adventure and a quest and discovery. We all got to get behind it. We all got to support it. So I'm so flattered to be a part of it. And I'm going to be behind 1,000%. I hope we all got what we wanted to introduce this. I think we need to do at least one more, you guys. We need to get back in and follow up, find out where we are, keep building the excitement, let people know where we are on our trek to delivering this thing up into the lead up, and then blow it up, man. Have a great, exciting first event. That's the plan for all of us. And that's all I got for you. Unless you guys got anything else, man, I'm gonna call this stream, this one finished. Are we good?
Great job, Mark.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. See you. All right, we're going to blow it out, guys. Come on down to Texas. Let's go.
Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.